So what I can add to what Mr. Mugane Mugo has said is that those phone numbers were my numbers before we started doing this. When we started, Kenya started donating to those numbers, I stopped using them for personal reasons, and now they were being used by the party. In fact, everybody here can say that they've had access to those phone numbers. In fact, even the messages you write to those phone numbers, Dalias has had, you know, to read them, and then he briefs us on what is going on. So this is what happens. The reason we had to use a phone number to receive money is because, one, to avoid the con men. Because when they send the money and the person they know is Morara and they see the name imeleta kwa M-Pesa KEBASO Morara, they develop a sense of trust. The second issue why we had to use those phone numbers is because we had a lot of support from the diaspora, which we still have to date. There are people who are in the US, who are in UK, who are in Germany, who support us and who support the movement to have fuel and to have security. So when they send, they usually use platforms like SendWave. Now on SendWave, you cannot send to a pay bill and you cannot send to a till. You cannot send to a phone number. And that phone number has to be registered to an individual. Even if it is not Morara, it has to be someone else. So what we did is we created a 14-member team where 7 people come from Inject and 7 people come from the diaspora. So we have a team of 14 people, 7 who live outside Kenya and 7 who are here. And the 14-member committee, what it does is that they budget for money every month. They say, this is what we need. We need to pay watchmen, we need to pay security, we need to pay internet, we need to pay electricity, and we need fuel. We want to do this and this and this civic education in this and this and this place. Once they do the budgeting, then the expenditure is not even done by me. By then, I'm not the one who usually pays. We have our finance director here, Farida. She's the one we call. Even when we are at the petrol station, she's the one we send the till number, then she pays from our kitty. Then all the payments we've ever made, the receipts are there. So what we usually do every month, we usually sit down in the boardroom, we put together the receipt and we create an accountability report. The reason maybe some people feel left out in terms of this accountability is because we are limited. Our hands are tied as regards to how much we can share with you or with the general public. The reason is some of this information is very sensitive and it is critical to our security. For example, where we slept, you know, for example, where we slept and where we paid to sleep is very critical information. Where we fuel, all right, or which car was fueled. Sometimes we leave our own cars here and we borrow cars for security purposes. So for that reason, if we publish all information just because we want to make so and so happy, at the end of the day, we will be compromising our own security. And that is why whenever I post to request for financial support, I usually say, support us if you can trust us. So we believe that Kenyans still trust us because to this day, regardless of all the propaganda that goes on out there trying to tarnish our names, to this day, there are Kenyans who still believe in us and continue to support us. Even today, even this morning, even 1 hour ago, even 20 minutes ago, there are Kenyans who send us 10 bob, 50 bob to support what we do. And we are putting together resources for different programs. For example, we are going to have Vijana Shika ID program, where we are going to encourage the youth to get IDs. We are going to have youth registration program to help the youth to register as what do we call it, as voters. We are trying to put together a group of friends to come and support us so that we see whether we can have either a music studio or just cameras for shooting, for helping people with the talent to be able to shoot content in this place or even to record music in this place, just as a way of reaching out to the youth and lifting them up with us, because when we go up, we want to go up with them. So we have all these programs we are planning. So sometimes we even have resources in the bank account, but those resources cannot be used because they belong to a certain program and we cannot remove it and put it in fuel. Ni mara nyingi sana hata sisi wenyewe tumetumia fedha zetu sisi wote binafsi. Any Kenyan who is out there, who is watching us today, that feels that they really need this information. This is not information that you can publish on our website or on our social media, because this is information that will be accessed by both our friends and our enemies. Just come here, give us a notice 3 days in advance so that the person who is supposed to give you this information prepares the information for you. Come here, sit down even for 2 hours or 3 hours, go through our records, be satisfied, including you who are in the media sector. You can give us a 3-day notice. You can come, go through our records one by one, see what we received, how we spent it, what we did with it, be satisfied. At least that way we will know who accessed our information, so that if we see is out there, tutajua so and so and so and so and so and so are the ones that have accessed this kind of information. I hope you understand.
But there's a general published thing.
Sorry?
There's something that usually published for the public bado.